because I want shit going on before I get there. So as I get in there, I go up and get a beer. He comes out and he goes, wow, that chick can give a mean blowjob. Okay, and I go, then I had to do this. I go, you didn't fuck her? He goes, nah, she was on the rag, we couldn't do that, but she gives a mean blowjob. So now I'm just about ready to spit out my teeth, and I'm like, should I say something? And I'm going, if I say
told them for another 50, maybe she'll take it from behind.
No. I'm thinking, if I say something, they'll kill her, they'll kill him, and kill me for knowing about it. So I just let it slide. He goes, well, you're up next. I go, nah, I've been pissing fire for the past 2 days. I got to go to the doctor. I got to pump. Oh, yeah, I think you better check that. I go, yeah, first thing on my agenda Monday morning. He comes into my place the next day, happy as a pig in shit, and I go, how does it feel to have been blown by a guy? He goes, what are you talking about? I said, you got blown by a guy. No, I didn't. I got the current issue of screw. Guess what, Slick? Here it is. You got blown by a guy. I saw this guy's face turn pink, then red, then purple. He was doing a Ralph Grimble. You're gonna fucking see anything. Oh, you're gonna go, no, that's gonna be our little secret, pal. And that's my really good record story.
What about that? While we're on the topic of he, she's, they kind of like exploded in the late 60s.
Yeah, nobody could figure this out. All of a sudden, there was like a couple little ads here and there, and then there was this full page.
Yeah, there's the big giant
like
TV ads.
Yeah, because it was only like, it used to be, if you can see this little corner thing, like, you know.
Careful, people.
Yeah, you catch one discrete ad in the corner, then it's a row, then it's a half a page.
Like a little,
then it's like
this little thing in a corner, then all of a sudden it was a full page, and then it morphed a little bit more into this. 2 pages. And then when I left New York, it was like 8 pages. Now, there was no chicks in the magazine anymore. I don't know what the
You gotta wonder who makes the fucking calls.
Yeah, really.
It's like, there ain't enough drugs or liquor for me to make that call, and now half the goddamn ads are transsexuals. It's like,
yeah, we used to get them coming to the liquidators. They had a face like Lawrence Taylor, and they were like, you know? God. Oh, I never told you this. They had something going on up. They had 3 whorehouses up top of us. We never knew about it until they got busted.
Until they were renting out the upstairs.
Yeah, it was out of loft. It was a whole B&D thing. The chick came down chasing some guy half naked with a whip because he beat her for the money and shit. Yeah, that was funny shit.
You know, before Art interrupted with another hooker story,
I was about to say, tell us a whorehouse story.
Yeah, that's all right. We were actually, I had a thought in my mind, and I hate to bring it up again because we're getting old, and we never do this anymore. But remember when weed was cheap?
Oh yeah.
Remember when a nickel bag was real?
4 finger ounce for $20. Look at that. I mean, that used to, just brings a tear to my eyes.
Now, if you know somebody who grows some real shit, it's like, okay, I'll cut off a left nut to buy that ounce. It's like ridiculous.
I still get it delivered. Norman's boy takes care of me. One-stop shopping. He just drives by me and tosses me this big garbage bag full of shit, and I toss my envelope full of money.
That's how it works. Hell, I've mailed everything. You ever go to the post office and they have that giant poster that's with a bunch of circles and things? I've mailed everything on it.
I mailed you something once, too. That was pretty funny.
I mailed everything on that list. Yeah, we've mailed shit that's not even on the list.
And we put somebody else's return address on it just in case it gets open. And it's usually somebody we just don't fucking like.
That's right. Wow, are we admitting way too much?
Yeah, really, and they're taping this shit too, so we're...
I'd like to say my name is Charles Xavier Smith.
Just curious at how the atmosphere of the grindhouses changes, like, once crack was introduced.
Oh, it was fucking scary. You just got to the point where, like, you didn't know whether you were going to hit over the head or stab, because these people were just so fucked up and so out of it and stuff. Plus, like, the other thing, too, was when that happened, home video was hitting hard, so a lot of people weren't going anymore. They just weren't showing up.
Yeah, so for all the youngsters in the crowd, if you can't afford real coke, don't do crack. Yeah. Really. Just save your money. Do less of it.
That's why they closed. Maybe Port Authority closed at 1 o'clock in the morning because of that shit. Because there was so much stuff going on in there, muggins and shit. They just shut it all down.
Fucked up everything. Crack.
How'd you get there then? Once that happened, I couldn't park in the 24-hour lot.
I didn't get. My car was such a piece of shit. I parked on the street at that point. I didn't care. Rob was fucking break down 3 blocks from me anyway. Yeah.
Hey, when the video explosion happened, man, how did that actually change 42nd Street?
That basically...
just in the 80s, was it the real death knell of 42nd Street?
Yeah, that basically, it was three things. It was AIDS, it was four things. It was AIDS, crack, the home video boom, and the realtors. I think Koch had cut a deal before he left office that nobody knew about, that they were going to... What they did was they went after the landlords, because a lot of these guys, the porn guys, took out multi-year leases on formerly unrentable property. Now all of a sudden this was prime real estate, and they could bust these guys all they wanted. There was always a little loophole to get back in. I mean, they busted Showworld for a fucking sprinkler violation. A-Beam shows up with 50 cops to close down Showworld for a sprinkler violation.
You mentioned Showworld. These people, if they're not from New York, Vinny just left, so that was probably our only New Yorker in the crowd.
He just went to Showworld.
Yeah, tell everybody a little bit about Showworld.
Showworld was a 3-floor, state-of-the-art, as Al Goldstein called it, a scumatorium, because if you had peeps, books, and other live sex shows in there, it was a scumatorium. So it had a bookstore on the first floor, live peeps, film peeps, and live sex upstairs. And it was $1 to get into the place, and you got 4 Showworld tokens. That was a coin of the realm. And you could find Showworld tokens all over New York because people didn't want to bring them home because their wife would go through their pockets and find where they've been. So, yeah, that was like, that actually bettered the neighborhood for a while because it was so clean that nobody would go to the other one, so they had to clean up their act. And I think it became a chain almost because a lot of people kept emulating the whole thing and going with the token route and keeping it all, it was all Formica and stainless steel instead of like, linoleum and crap and wooden floors. Blackjack was the only one that really kept its really shitty facade up until the late 80s till that folded up. That was like sawdust on the floors, creaking. The help would yell at you to pick up the books with 2 hands, all kinds of shit. So.
There was another iconic place in the 70s that on 42nd Street in that area, and it was Hubert's Museum and Flea Circus.
Yeah.
I remember, I heard stories. It was never there when I got to New York, but I know Pete has to know a little bit about Hubert's.
Yeah. We went on a class trip in '66, I think, and we cut. And we wound up at this place because they had a shooting gallery in the basement. We could shoot 22s and shit. They had the Flea Circus. Tiny Tim started there. He was the hermaphrodite. Pushed him as a hermaphrodite. They had all kinds of weird shit going on. And then...
more like a little freak show kind of place. And like you said, a shooting gallery, not full of junkies, but like, take your gun downstairs. Come upstairs and see a freak show.
The other shooting gallery was in the restroom, right?
Yeah, that
was a grindhouse restaurant.
But now, here's the really strange part. That place closed up, I think, in '76. And on top of it, they erected Peepland, which probably had some of the most depraved videos and loops you would ever want to see, plus a really nasty open-window live peep on the downstairs floor, where I remember sitting in there and seeing some chick shove her ass right in some guy's face sticking out the window.
Yeah, live peep was where you stuck in the money and the door went up, you watched for a while, and if you wanted to watch again, you put in some more money.
But what they did was, for a while, they took the windows out because these girls were turning tricks in peep shows. I mean, you got 30 seconds to do whatever. Guys are feeding it quarters with one hand and shoving the wazoo through the window with another. And one of the guys I met that worked at Showworld explained to me that the thing came down, the window came down, it came down in a worm gear. When it hit, it wouldn't go right back up again. So a couple of times they had a, free willy, for lack of better words, But yeah, that stuff was going on for a while. Finally, the city got involved because this was nasty. I mean, just what I want to do is lick a sweat-slobbered booby that was just licked by 17 other guys before I got in there,
Nothing like sloppy 18s.
Oh, yeah. I seen some really crazy shit with that. I think Blackjack was the only one who wouldn't stop it. They just wouldn't stop it. Yeah. The rest of them want to keep open.
How about you guys? You got any questions? Go ahead, Rob.
Hey, did you ever go to Plato's Retreat, and what was Larry Levinson like?
No, because you had to go in with a chick, and like I never qualified because I never had anybody who had the balls to go with me. And they let single guys in.
He's got hooker stories. Yeah. You couldn't bring a hooker. It cost too much.
Yeah, basically, it was a lot of money to get in there. They let single guys in for like on one night a week for like $60, and you only stay an hour, and like there's 30 guys and 4 chicks, I never went. I never went. I don't want to screw in public. I mean, hookers are one thing. Hookers are one thing. Getting blown in the car is one thing, but screwing in front of about 30 people, that isn't what I want to do.
Did you ever meet Larry Levinson?
No, never met him. Met Al Goldstein a lot, but never Larry. Larry was locked up, I think, before,
Yeah.